You ready to kick this next team around? Kick 'em like Pinion. Kick 'em like sucker. Yeah, shiver me timbers. It's been a cold winter. The Bucs putting the foot on your team. Call Master Splinter. I'm feeling a glimmer. I'm 79, 99, 02, 20. It's time to ride. Let's go. We'll set sail for our own city. It looked easy, but wasn't pretty. TB12 at the helm. That's the golden fairy tales. Buried the packet Lambo. Pulled up, burned out like a Lambo. Cut off the lights in the Superdome. Third time's a charm. Did a Super Bowl. Yeah. And that Washington football team, you see a thing. Chalked them out. No fans in the stands to witness a murder scene. Too many weapons to describe. Ask me, I've never heard of teams assembled to damage and bash of things. Just pillage and plunder, we laying siege. Raise the flags, raise the flags. Hit them fast, secure the bag. Secure the bag. Don't even blink, make them walk the plank. Walk it, light them up, let's make them sing. Make them sing. Fire the cannons, fire the cannons, fire the cannons. Oh, Bucs, yeah, we own. Fire the cannons, fire the cannons, fire the cannons. Whole fields are red. Let me give you 55 reasons why this is our season. Palm trees breezing, opposing teams bleeding. Treat them like it's treason. Don't stop till they stop breathing. We savages feasting, them babies still teething. Oh yeah, Mike Edwards Godwin, now AB boy we mobbing. GRONK, that man got his robbing. Out of retirement, somebody call the fireman. Scooter, Scotty, Miller, burning boys, they looking tired, man. Great, looking great. That old line, seal your face. Smith, Marvin, Jensen, Hurst. After fire makes you hurt. Put our enemies in the dirt. When Big Lee get to work. Rojo, running, robbing, Ray J. Go berserk. Yeah, APP, make a QB, take a knee. Levante, make a break when we on D. Beat a Bay all day, ghost in the beast. Never white kid, lost, who will never cease. Shaq backing up sacks. Even our backups breaking back.
All right, welcome back to Buck What You Heard. My name is Gene. You can reach me at Buck What You Heard. You follow me, I will follow you back. Yes, I'm Fire the Cannons always gets me hyped up. That's my new theme right here for this year. My guy, Michael Levi. What's going on, bro? Thanks for letting me use your song, man. Thanks for blessing us with this song. Appreciate you. I'm joined by my co-host here, KB. How you doing, man?
Good, not to be mistaken with Shaq Barrett. And by the way, I'm not a rapper.
Exactly. But you could be. Easily.
No.
So
wasn't born on 8 Mile.
So after 11 games, the Bucs finally lose one, and they lose in convincing fashion. So right now, a lot of Bucs social media is in panic mode right now, not sure what to do or where to go or who to talk to. And, so everybody's reaching out like, man, our secondary needs help. And lo and behold, boom, ask and ye shall receiveth. Richard Sherman is now a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. As a matter of fact, I'll go a step further. Richard Sherman was at camp today. What are your thoughts on that, my friend?
Oh, we'll get to my thoughts on this. I think the turntable should be turned back on you because a little birdie told me that not every Bucs fan in the community is excited about this move.
For me, I'm still enjoying being defending world champions. The Bucs have only lost one game, and they won games that they shouldn't have won. So, I mean, I'm enjoying this. I'm along for the ride. And in previous years, I've gotten hyped up with free agent moves. Sean Golson, for example. And those things just didn't pan out. So for me, I am happy if Richard Sherman can come in and help the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win games, if he could kind of shore up and solidify that secondary a little bit, that's definitely going to be helpful. But I think what the secondary needs help with is the front line, the defensive line, getting pressure on the quarterback. I think that's going to be key because I don't care how good your secondary is. If you're not getting pressure on the quarterback, you can get carved up pretty easy. So again, I'm happy he's here. If that's the move, that the general manager and the coach have decided upon, and this is what they're going to do, I'm good with that. I'm not going to be like, oh man, he sucks and I don't care if he's here or not. No, my whole thing is I've just been even keel this whole season. And you can attest to this. I've been like even keel. I've been like, oh, okay, let's see what happens. My whole thing is let's see how this unfolds. Because the secondary this time last year, how good was our secondary the Bucs secondary this time last year? I mean, just in general. I mean, it took a while for them to get into sync and get rolling, but eventually they did. I believe that with Tom Brady at the helm, I think that there are a lot of things are going to get corrected. I don't think this is going to stay the way that it is, personally.
Gene,
So
what if I told you though that this defense is performing pretty much the exact same that they did last year, just this year,
I would believe it.
minus just 2 injuries? That's literally it. Jamel Dean going down obviously was big thing that happened to the Bucs. Don't wish that upon anyone. Glad that he was at practice today. His knee injury was very minor. Still experiencing some soreness from what
Oh
BA
yeah, of
said,
course.
but he still practiced even in a limited capacity. And Sean Murphy Bunting, we don't know when he's going to be back. And Gene, believe it or not, this is a team until they play the Saints, until they play the Rams, until they play the Bills. They're going to be playing set. They've played 75 to 80% of zone against teams that are not elite offensively. What's Richard Sherman really good at? Zone. What
Yep.
are the quarterbacks that we're going against coming up? I mean, we're going against a rookie. We're
Mhm.
going against Jacoby Brissett. We're going up against later in the year. We're going to see Sam Darnold. I mean, these quarterbacks. We have a really easy schedule from now until October 31st when we play the Saints, and then we have the
Yeah.
bye after that. The
Yeah.
Bucs have the third easiest schedule according to ESPN's rankings of strength of schedule.
Yeah. But to me, and this is where I'm going with this. This is the same roster you had last year, with the exception of Richard Sherman now. And Joe Tryon going out there and playing. I think he's going to be a contributing factor as he gets more reps. I think he's going to settle in quite fine. Again, personally, I think it's just these guys all coming together. They haven't had that game. They haven't had that breakout game. They haven't had that statement game yet. It's still early in the season, and like I said, a lot can happen, and I think they will bring it together. It's just a matter of when.
Things could be worse too. Heck, even the Chiefs are 1-2 right now. I mean, the Packers got blown out week 1. The Saints got blown out week 2. Like the Bucs really haven't even been blown out yet. Yeah, that game was a little bit out of hand at the end there. I'm not going to really count that last touchdown where Gio got hurt. The game was pretty much over at that point. If you
Yeah.
ask me, Brady, Evans, Godwin, Gio, none of those guys should have been in the game, especially with Vaughn, dressing up for the game. So I'm not disappointed. In fact, I think every team needs to have that, maybe not the Saints 34-3 loss last year, but just a nice little kick in the mouth, lets you know that you're human and
Mhm.
you bounce back the next week. I mean, we know Brady's focused, Gronk's focused. BA said it best. 99% of the players on this team. This is just another game coming up. Those other two players. I mean, this means everything. I mean,
Right.
Brady he said he knows, what the smells are like, what the winds like, what fans are going to be sitting in what sections for this game. I mean, this is what they play for, and I think everyone wants to show out this upcoming Sunday. And I'm not going to predict a blowout, but I think you're going to see a more put together team than what we saw last Sunday.
Oh, absolutely. I think this was a statement. That was a statement game. And don't get it twisted. I mean, the Buccaneers are the defending world champions. Everybody they face is going to be throwing their best at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Target, baby.
Everybody. I don't and yeah, there you go. They've got that bullseye on your back. What you look at Sean McVay doing Skippy McSkipperson often halftime, just because they were doing well. I mean, it's I'm serious.
He did
Team
it twice too, Gene. He did it right before the half at the missed kick, and then after the Djax touchdown to open the
Yeah,
second half. I mean, you could tell McVay poured his heart and soul into this game.
yeah.
And if
He
anything,
wanted,
it's going to put stuff on film that's going to help us. I mean, we
yeah,
know that the Sean Paytons, the Sean McVays, like they're going to take advantage of us in the preseason, or assuming the regular season. It's, can we make those man adjustments? Are we going to show up the way that we should and play the defense that we should be playing in the postseason? Because I mean, I had a back and forth with Jake Arians after this game, and I know everyone's on me for Byron Leftwich and my criticism of him, and I'm not pinning the loss on Byron. I want to make sure everyone's clear of that. However, I on this podcast, on my Twitter account, I've been telling all of you this team is going to play soft zone the entire regular season. It's going to happen. They're going to give up a lot of points. They're not going to be the number one fantasy defense. They're not going to be, anything crazy other than the occasional really big turnover games. They're not going to be that top tier elite defense week 1 to week 17. The offense to me has no other excuse. The offense has depth. The offense has, I mean, we're seeing what was our running game last year compared to this year. A lot of it has to do with scheme. And
Mhm.
I'm giving Todd Bowles the benefit of the doubt. And I haven't been giving Byron that because I think he proved it in the Super Bowl. And I think he proved it in week 2 against the Falcons. He can call a game that allows us to play to our potential. He didn't do that Sunday.
Yeah. And again, I don't understand why he reverts back to certain things. I don't know if it's what he's saying. I'm not a head coach. Number one, not a head coach. Don't claim to be. But when you see some of the things that you're like, well, why this call? And from what I hear, rumor has it that all 22. I don't know if it's back. It may have already be back.
Weeks 1 and 2 have been uploaded apparently, and then week 3 comes out this Thursday or Friday.
Finally. All right. So we're on the bigger and better things. So I'm gonna shut my mouth right now until I can actually look at some of this stuff and come back with a better answer. I'm gonna cut that short.
Well, I can save you some research if you want to go into our run game. And I know BA's got a lot of flack from the fans because he said he thinks Rojo ran well on Sunday. And I'm actually not going to disagree with him. You could see the linebackers and safeties, the box heavily increased, and players were playing downhill the moment Rojo stepped onto the field. He had 2 decent runs and then was basically met at the line his other couple runs.
Right.
On those
But
2 runs, he did pretty well. But
yeah,
he was on for 1 series.
yeah, exactly. And they're not, BA does not have a problem not committing to the run. I mean, it's just like, I'm going to go to USC. I'm deciding I'm going to go to Alabama. He just, hey, we're going to do this. No, we're going to do this here. That's kind of how he is. If whatever he feels like is working is what he's going to go with. But again, the Bucs are defending world champions, and the Bucs only have 1 loss in their record. I'm enjoying this, and the Rams are a good team, and I believe that the Bucs will see the Rams again in the playoffs. And I really do believe that the Rams are beatable. Just watching them. Okay. And it's early in the season. I would rather have these losses. I would rather have these mistakes. I would rather have these penalties now as opposed to week 10, week 9, week 8, whatever. I would rather see that now rather than then. If you can clean this stuff up, the O-line, the O-line is doing what they're doing for the most part, but that defensive line of the Rams ain't no joke. So again, it was a great game. It was a great game, and the Rams are going to be a really interesting team to keep an eye on. I think if the Rams don't make it to the Super Bowl, I'm starting a tradition just like the Miami Dolphins, and where the home team doesn't win a Super Bowl, we're breaking out the champagne and we're going to celebrate just like the 17-0 seasons. Anytime somebody undefeated goes down, they break out the champagne. When a home team does not make it to the Super Bowl to host, let's break out the champagne. What else? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean the Rams are the only team I would like to avoid. In the playoff type scenario, I think we've proven that we can give the Packers some trouble, even with Aaron Rodgers playing at an elite level. The Saints, without Drew Brees, he wasn't even there. When he played last year, really in that playoff game. I don't think Jameis is going to take that next step. But in terms of in that tweet that I made regarding the strength of schedule. Bucks have the 3rd easiest schedule. New Orleans has 11th. San Francisco's 15th. The Rams are 16th. The Panthers, the 3-0 Panthers, Gene, are 19th. Seattle's 23rd, and Green Bay's 25th. In terms of these teams are having really tough schedules. We know the NFC West is going to beat each other up. The Bucks
Mhm.
can still go 14-3 very easily. If you
Yeah.
if you look at the schedule, to me, it's the 2 Saints games and the Bills.
Yeah. And I am going to say that this is the ultimate team game. Football is the ultimate team game. And as at the beginning of the season, I've always said you got to keep your eye out on the Panthers. I've said that. You know that. And everybody rolled their eyes at me. I went on a Panthers show and told them, keep an eye on the Panthers because they're gonna, you never know what they're gonna do. And they rolled their eyes at me because I think the only thing that I wasn't sure about was Sam Darnold. At the end of the day, I really believe that the Panthers can be a problem for teams. If you overlook the Panthers, you do it at your own peril. Last year when they almost took the Chiefs to the to overtime, I was like, this is a team that they've got it all together. They're missing a running back, and I think they're missing a few key pieces on defense. And I think you've seen, what they can do when they put it all together. And this team has bought into Matt Rule, it looks like.
Yeah, but it also helps when you're playing the Jets week 1, the
Mhm.
Saints with their entire coaching staff. We saw what the Bucs did, even if it was the Lions last year without their coaching staff, and then the Texans. Now they're going without Christian McCaffrey into Jerry World next week. Let's see if they're real.
Yeah, this is going to be the test. Again, I've been saying this since week 1. We're weeding out the contenders from the pretenders right now, and it's still going on. I would say till week 6, you get an idea of who's out there and who's really legit and who's not. So a lot goes into this, and I really believe that the Bucs are going to be fine. I really do believe that.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, other than the secondary, we're still pretty darn healthy everywhere else. So fingers crossed, we just stay healthy. Again, we're going to play a bunch of zone. Teams are going to put up yards. I think last week was just the first time in those 11 games we gave up touchdowns instead of threes. And, we just got to clamp down. We saw some miscommunication, some pick plays that, could argue pass interference, especially when they call them on us. But I mean, I'm not one to call out refs, but I think the refs across the board, especially in primetime games, have been abysmal. And I just hope that, as the season goes on, that, I don't think we're ever going to get a consistent or
Mhm.
even playing field in terms of the refs. But as
And
long as they call things both ways, and at least we get, we saw taunting penalties go down this past week. Hopefully, we
yep.
see that trend continue.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. I think they just got they were too heavy-handed with all this. And I've said this once, I'll say it again. I don't want to know who a ref is. I don't give a damn who you are. But the fact that we got to see your face on the screen throughout the game, it just it's they have too much influence on the game as a whole. And that's what I have the biggest problem with, is just how much you have to see the refs. I don't care. And it's not just the Bucs. I've seen calls that the Bucs got that they shouldn't have got, but I've seen it on both sides. There's just no consistency with the referee staff. I've been watching, and that's kind of what I've been keying in on with NFL Sunday Ticket. Thank God DirecTV is going to lose that finally. But
hopefully Amazon gets it. Sorry.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Amazon or maybe Apple. If Apple gets it, I think I'm
I'm
on board.
fine with that. I'm an Apple TV guy, so that works for
You
me.
know, and I'm kind of leaning that way. With Samsung playing their reindeer games, man. I'm just like, okay, you guys want to be like Apple? I just might as well get get an iPhone. If that's how they're going to go with it. So, it is what it is.
Well, Gene, just really briefly on those ref situations, just want to call that out real quick. Did you watch the Monday night game?
Yes, I did.
The
Yeah,
Eagles were called for, no joke, probably like 15 holds that game.
yeah.
And if I don't think there was 15 holds called the other slate of games this entire weekend.
And I could have pointed out countless holding penalties where you're grabbing and you're not disengaging. I mean, what is that? What do they call it when and you don't
What do
was
you
that a
mean? Like,
hold? So when you
yeah,
got somebody and you don't let go and you keep on
you just
holding.
like take them to the ground.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's still a holding penalty.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's kind of where I
But
was going.
like I mean, the Cowboys, Vita Vea was held for the entire second half. Not, I mean, I think one holding penalty was called near the end there. But like overall though, like there was just no excuse for some of them that was called. I
Yeah.
mean, yes, there's holding on every single play of an NFL game. And I'm
Absolutely.
not saying the Eagles would have won Monday
But
night. I'm not
it should
saying
be consistent across the board.
well, I'm
That's
not saying even the Bucks would have won Sunday night if that pick play wasn't called a pass interference on the Rams and they called it on us. Like, but there that just needs to be consistent because, for instance, as
exactly.
a
That's the word.
defense, you don't know what to. It's like a foul in basketball. Like you only get 5 of them. In NFL, if you give up 100 yards in penalties, you're probably going to lose. And the Bucks are second worst team in the NFL in penalties right now, and they're doing some pre-snap things that are stupid that they need to clean up.
Yeah.
But those 50-50 things, like, I mean, we gotta reduce those as a league
Yeah,
just overall.
and again, and that kind of goes back to what I was saying. I want those things to get fixed now. I would rather see I'd rather see those issues get resolved now, and instead of having to wait until week 9, week 10, and you're still having these pre-snap penalties, or things that you should have cleaned up in preseason. You're still seeing them. So again, with Tom Brady, with Bruce Arians, with this coaching staff, I think they will clean this stuff up, and they'll get a nice little run going to get everybody back on board. But for me, the Bucs are still the defending champions, and I'm good with that.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, let the Rams have a month here where they have the target on their backs from everyone. We know that this team last year, they can take criticism. Maybe a little bit out of the spotlight might be good. I mean, I know we just came back in the spotlight with Sherman,
Yeah.
but I think had that not happened, even I think people would still be talking about that game and not positive about Sherman and that addition. So again, I'll take the lack of publicity right now just to let the team lay low, learn, and come out next week, because I mean, once Saturday hits, no one's going to stop talking about this Brady reunion. I'm sure you saw that Adele, promo for it. Hello.
Yeah, so this is just going to be a wild week. I mean, this is the game that a lot of people had circled on their calendars. I think this is going to be a good game. I would love to see more OJ Howard. Personally, I don't know. A lot of people are wishy washy on him. I think he could be beneficial. Personally,
Hey, him and Cameron Brate both showed up Sunday. I mean, they at least
yeah.
did
I
something.
love I
So
love the blocking. I love the blocking from OJ Howard. So there were some nice plays that he made. What do you think about getting some calls in? We haven't
let's do it.
haven't talked to anybody for a while. Maybe nobody will call in. But 813-358-8154. I'd love to hear from you guys. What do you think about Richard Sherman? What do you think about the Patriots game coming up? Patriot Games. Great movie. Great
My
movie.
dad loves that. And I don't like that. I like Ben Affleck, but I don't like that movie.
I just love saying Patriot Games. This sounds good. Yep. So yeah, call in. I'd love to hear from you. Definitely like to get your opinion on this. The chat is lit. Thank you guys. Tapasio is kind of leaning towards UKB, saying the coaching needs to improve. So
I think it's more scheme. I think we have great teachers, and I think we've seen improvement across the board. Heck, we talked about Rojo's improvement last year. We talked about the secondary's improvement. We've seen Tristan Wirfs, Antoine Winfield, Devin White. I mean, he's not having the greatest start, but he's doing still he's, to me at this point this year, he's playing better than he was last year.
yeah,
That just shows he's at least getting a little bit more consistent.
absolutely. And I think that's the thing, that the Buccaneers are historically slow starters. It's just what it is.
Hey, last year.
John, super fan, what's happening, my friend? And yeah, again, call in. I'd love to hear from you. Somebody call in.
Let us know who's going to catch yard number 69 for Brady to be the number one yards getter in quarterback history.
I'd love for that to be a touchdown.
It has to be DeGronk. It
I'm
has to be.
I'm thinking it's going to be AB.
I feel like it's 69, Gene. It has to be Gronk. He has 69 yards, breaks the record.
There you go. All right, you are on with Buck. What you heard? Who we talking to?
Mr. Buck, everything.
There we going on. What's going on, man?
Let's give it up one time for Richard Sherman joining the Bucs.
So what do you think, man? Is this what we needed?
I remember last time when me and you talked, Gene, I said they needed a veteran
You did.
in the secondary to calm the young boys down. They know how to play, but they don't know how to play in big moments sometimes. The pressure gets to them. They have no leadership in the secondary to say, all right, guys, calm down. This is what we need to do. We got this. Calm down. Erase what you have in your mind, what you did wrong last play. It's about now. And just like someone said earlier, that it's not about the skill set with Richard Sherman. It's going to be more about the leadership on these young guys that's going to help propel them moving forward.
So when you think about it, when was the last time the Bucs really had veteran leadership in the secondary that you can remember?
2005.
Maybe to leave. That was the last time.
Talib wasn't a leader though. He was young and stupid at that time.
He was punching people out, man. Still.
Yeah, I would say
mean, before that,
2005
leave, it was Ronnie.
when he
I guess it
retired.
would have been
Rondé, that was it.
Barber.
I guess it would have been Rondé Barber then. That is crazy. And I mean that in itself shows you what kind of team the Buccaneers are to have to win a Super Bowl with such a young team and to be able to do what they've done, in that secondary with a young team like that.
It's a credibility to all the coaches on the team. But one thing we got to stop doing, we got to stop getting out coached by some of these up and coming coaches. Not saying Sean McVay is not a bad coach, but
That
if you
guy-
go back and you look at the last 3 games that we played the Rams, you have done the same thing to our defense. Assign blocking. You go get Devin White. You on this play, go get Levante Davis. You go attack Carlton Davis. They have assigned blocking every time that we play them. And I don't understand why BA cannot see that. The whole game, they abandoned the run. They said, okay, we're going to take Gronk away on first and third. Jalen, you get on Godwin. We'll give you Mike Evans all day long right there. Once he seen that, and then also the other thing what killed me was every time they see Leonard Fournette got in the backfield, all right, everybody goes to the flat. We know Brady going to throw to the flat. You should have seen that first quarter and adjusted your game plan out of that. Okay, instead of trying to get into a shootout, control the ball clock, the clock. Run the ball. Time of possession. First down ball. It was no reason for you to get into a shootout with the Rams right there.
Right.
You played right into Sean McVay's hands with that, wanted to get into a shootout. That's what he wanted us to do.
Yeah, and
we had the defense on the field too long that whole game.
I can't argue with that. KB, what do you think?
Yeah, when I on this podcast last week, I said this game was going to come down to third down conversions. They blew us out of the water. I mean, as Mr. Buck everything said. I mean, they knew to double team Gronk. They knew to double team Godwin, or at least put Jalen on Godwin. They knew to do the small things to at least have a control in the outcome, because with no AB, you have a 50-50 throw to Mike Evans, or he's just running like a curl or something, basic that, Darius Williams could stop. And the Rams on third down were borderline unstoppable last. If I remember, they were 75% like on third down.
Right.
When the game mattered, not including late in game stuff. So I mean, it's crazy. Like when you think about McVay, he's playing to matchups and space, and he does it in a completely different way than what the Bucs do. We hear, who's open is who we're going to throw to based on that one-on-one matchup. Well, McVay, for instance, is going to scheme up that space to be open. He's going to have a half field concept with 3 different levels of a route, and the defense has to make their own mistakes. And we made our mistakes. We were young, we were stupid, but now we got some leadership. And I think when you look at the defense, you have JPP helping out the edge rushers, you have Sue helping the D tackles, you have Levante helping out the linebackers, and now you actually have a veteran in the secondary. And I think Antoine Winfield is going to benefit. Jordan Whitehead's already saying he's benefited. And I think the corners are going to for sure benefit. And then worst case, they got to earn their reps when they get healthy.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question for both of y'all. What is y'all opinion on Whitehead? Do you rather start Whitehead or do you rather start Mike Edwards? To me, Mike Edwards is a better fit with Winfield than Jordan Whitehead. That's just my opinion.
I'm probably going to get shredded for this, but Whitehead hasn't been healthy enough for me to really like, I don't know. I would say Edwards. I would kind of lean towards Edwards personally, but then what do I know? I'm not a head coach.
Now here's my answer, and it's sort of a cop out. To me, Antoine Winfield should be the slot corner, and you throw Edwards deep, and then Whitehead play that strong safety role. However, Bowles, BA, and Antoine have said that that's not going to happen. He's going to be our free safety. He's going to be the Ed Reed, which he's amazing at. Great role for him. Mike Edwards, I'm his biggest fan. I said that in the Devin White draft class that Edwards was my favorite pick out of all of those draft picks, including White. And Whitehead, I think he's just playing his one contract year, and I think Edwards is just going to come in next year. And I just think Edwards right now, I think it's good for him to be the third safety. He's obviously splashed. I want him to come out next year. I don't think the Bucs are going to re-sign Whitehead. I love Whitehead. I think he's just super underrated. Again, he's the only guy who's really being physical and causing fumbles,
Oh, yeah.
causing any sort of turnovers. And obviously, he had the big play against Green Bay last year.
Yep.
Somehow played in the Super Bowl. I just think they both are completely opposite in what they do, and the team just likes Whitehead probably just because he's a little bit older, a little bit more wiser. But Edwards to me has the higher upside. Is that a good cop
Yeah.
out answer at least?
That's a great cop-out answer.
I mean, I understand that, and I also say Ellis is more physical than Whitehead, but I understand Ellis he has poor cover skills in certain schemes. It's like certain schemes you can hide his defects in certain schemes. Then it's other times to where, depending on what play is called, he's like a ball hawk. He sees it, he go get it, or he overshoots. I can deal with that right there. But what I just can't deal with is the inconsistency on Whitehead part. Yes, Whitehead been there through Lovey, Clark, and now BA. Yes, but he been in and out of that defense spot in a long time ago. I felt like we should have been let Whitehead go just because he couldn't stay healthy. Just because of the health issues, because you could have actually drafted or either went out and got a better free agent to fill that position right there. That's one position that you can't not constantly have a rotation on like that. Now, I like the other backup reserves right there, don't get me wrong, but I feel like they don't have enough time in the system and enough play in the moment to really understand what you need at that moment right there. And with Richard Sherman being back there, all of them are going to benefit. All of them. But did anyone also notice when Sean McVay what was the old Buck coach, Raheem moved Donald to the defensive end,
Saw that.
and he pancaked Gronk after Gronk came back in, I believe, after that hit, that third quarter, and he got around. Gronk couldn't stand up to Donald at that point. His back was hurting too bad.
Yeah.
He
got lit up. He got lit up bad. I don't even
his
know.
ribs. I mean, I'm surprised he didn't break a rib or something.
I'm surprised he came back out on the field.
I think it was stupid that he came back on the field personally.
Yeah, but again, when Brady's out there, you feel like you can come back and win. I don't know. At this point,
Gronk was actually trying to support Brady. He felt like the team needed him, and me myself as a coach, I'd have told Gronk, you done for the day. We got OJ, we got Cameron Brate. They're not scheming for them, but they're scheming for you. So here we go back to the coaching part of it right there. All right, Gronk, you good. We got more than enough tight ends. You get help. You sit down on the sideline. We don't want nothing else to happen to you right there. But it should have been a legal flag hit on that play because Gronk was defenseless on that. Now, they talk about defenseless receivers. You cannot say he was not defensive. He did not see Leonard Floyd coming on that hit right there at all.
It's because he wasn't hit in the head. The only reason why they're not going to call that unless it's high or low.
And I think because of his size too plays a lot of it.
Well, and we saw with Devontae Adams. I would argue Adams's play was more of a penalty than what happened to Gronk, and they didn't call a flag for either of them. So again, it's inconsistency with refereeing.
So I want to ask you, Mr. Everything Bucs, what would you have done in the second half to turn this game around? You as a coach, when you look at the players that are out there, what would you have done different to try to turn this game around?
First of all, we would have came out second half and got into a 2-minute offense. We would have basically went no huddle all the way down, got back on the board right there. Come back out, second time out right there, defense. We need a big play. We need a pick or a stop. We couldn't allow them to go back down and score. And when DJ went down and got that touchdown, I already knew earlier they was going to go back to that play at some point in time And Bowles should have been ready for that right there. And I would have been talking to Bowles. They're coming back to that play right there again to D-Jack. He overthrew it to D-Jack last time. But D-Jack know every time that he plays Tampa, he always will have it out for him because he felt like, oh, y'all should have kept me and kept Flip in there instead of James. It never cut me.
Don't worry, he will only play against the Bucs, the Eagles, and the Washington football team. He's going to be injured and be out for the next like 6-7 weeks. Watch.
Yeah.
That's just how Djax is.
Yeah.
And remember, Mike Edwards actually slipped on that long touchdown, so there's no guarantee that play would have worked had he not slipped. So keep that in mind.
But I still felt like I would have played faster. And
yeah, you know that what you just said makes 100% sense, because when Brady is in the no huddle, I mean he's pretty precise when he's in the no huddle, and it works. So, you know, you getting up to the line and you're not giving the defense a chance to see what you're doing, and you know that. What do you think, KB? I think it's a good idea personally.
Well, not just with Brady. Honestly, that was when Jameis was best under BA, was in a no huddle offense.
No huddle.
So, I mean, I'm a big fan of it, but then again, I'm also like, it's week 3.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, we lost, but like I think the coaches, yes, they want to play to win, but like I think they also have that mindset of, I mean, it is also one game. At one point, it got pretty out of hand. I mean, that's why I was surprised Brady was still in. But I think they also want to see things executed a little bit better. We know these receivers, even, you know, going from Brady to Jameis, or Jameis to Brady, and now even this year, I don't think the receivers are running the routes that they're supposed to be doing, if I'm going to be completely honest, because we know BA's offense is predicated off of reading the defense.
Yeah, and that's something that that's something I would definitely I'll be looking at too. Kind of going back and looking at the routes.
I would actually say they started running their route better this second year with Brady there. The first year, it took almost up to the bye week for them to all get on the same page. But since they had the whole offseason, OTAs and everything else, I believe they're running better routes than what they did last year. But again, when coaches start getting film on everybody, knowing what everybody's doing good on this and doing good on that, teams start to tender to playing against that right there. Yeah. So now, when everybody starts thinking this is all what the Bucs gonna go ahead and do, now you hit them with something else different. So in the New England game, if I'm BA, I'm coming out telling them we're running smash mouth football.
Yeah, we're using both barrels too.
We running 3 tight end sets. I want to see the Bucs bring back a fullback formation. Go back to that strong and that weak formation, or
like the Rhino package from back in the Dungy days with Lorenzo Neal and Mike Alstott kind of thing.
Yeah, I believe that's what they need. They need to figure out a way to bring back their fullback to when, I tell you what, if you want to play Leonard Fournette and Rojo at the same time, Fournette, you go to the fullback, Rojo, you get back to the other spot. Let Fournette go ahead and be the cleanup man through there, and Rojo, you know you fast enough to go ahead and make your cuts and everything. Boom. Yeah. You got a third tight end. Let your third tight end to come in and be the fullback every now and then.
Yeah.
Right there.
And that, that makes sense too. So tell everybody how they can get a hold of you. Let's see if we can get some other calls on here, but tell everybody how they can get a hold of you.
Oh, for right now, straight YouTube, Mr. Buck, everything. I'm on there. I got a podcast coming soon.
When can we expect this?
It'll probably be about another 2 months right there. We getting all the equipment. We got the location packed down and everything. It's going to be about another 2 months. So hopefully, when you and your Thanksgiving, we'll be able to do our first show.
Well, when you and your co-host get it together, let me know. I'll have you on and you can promote your show.
I'm just warning you ahead of time. He's a big Saints fan, but I told him, I said, he's more than welcome to come over our show, on your show, to talk about anything with the Saints and whatnot of stuff. It's
Yeah.
an all love show, but he loves football overall.
My guy Tony Dunn is in the chat here from the Carolina Panthers, gloating a little bit about their first place in the NFC South. So, hey, anybody's welcome. That's what I say, man. It's football. We all have fun with it. And it should be fun to see you two talking trash to each other. Saints and Bucs, that's what they do, because the Atlanta Falcons are non-existent, so they don't have nothing to say. But anyway,
you're right.
All right. Well, thanks for calling. Hey, try calling back in next week. I'd love to get your thoughts on the Patriots game and the aftermath of that. And you're always welcome to call in.
All right. Appreciate it.
All right. And that was Mr. Bucs Everything. Again, that number 813-358-8154. I'd love to hear from you guys. Johnny Dean's in the chat. Johnny Dean would love to hear from you. Christopher Cole, Nestor with because they were talking, earlier we were talking about leadership or veterans in the Bucs secondary. And Neil mentioned Brent Grimes. Somebody,
the
Bucs,
guy who said that
yeah, that guy. I almost got fired trying to do that.
For doing what he did.
Yeah.
For saying, what was it, that he didn't want to guard the number one wide receiver because he wasn't paid enough?
Yeah,
that's your leader.
No, that was somebody being funny. Somebody mentioned Darrelle Revis. Revis was not a
he's also here 1 year, and he also wasn't himself.
Yeah, so I
also, we know Greg Schiano was all leadership in that locker room.
Yeah, if you want to call
no one could really be, and I love Greg, but I don't think anyone could be a leader in that locker room, really.
Yeah. So what about, I guess, Rondé Barber? 2010 would have probably been. That'd have been
he left right as Greg was, like, right before Greg came in.
Yeah, so I guess it would have been Rondé. Would have been the last one. Alteron Werner. Okay. No.
Don't you have to be good to get some sort of leadership?
Yeah.
Also, when was the last time you heard Alteron Werner say a word?
He's pretty soft-spoken.
Other than, I remember his introductory press conference. I can't tell you one quote of anything he's ever said.
He was just happy to be here.
So. Well, he also was paid, or happy to get paid the amount of money he did to suck it up.
I heard David Mosier. I heard we freed up $4 million, but we're only playing Sherman 1.2. Do you think
2.
it might bring some 2.5? So
is what he can make. It's 1.2 in base that comes off the books right now, but the incentives are probably going to come off the books.
Yeah. Do you think we might bring in somebody else too? Interesting. I keep hearing people talking about Marlon Mack.
No, the Bucs aren't giving up draft capital unless it's in exchange for, I'll give you a 6th for your 7th. That's the only way I see the Bucs doing any sort of trade, and I don't think it's going to be for a running back, if anything.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think the running backs are a talent issue, even though I think they haven't played up to snuff, Rojo and Lenny included. But I think it's more of a scheme thing, and also I think
it's reps too. There are some running, and again, I'm not a coach, not a GM. There are some some running backs that do better as the game goes on, and then you're feeding them the ball.
Yeah, but it's also, yes, there's Derrick Henry, but, like, for instance, Alvin Kamara, yes, he plays a crap ton of snaps, but you know what? He only plays like 60% of snaps.
Yeah,
like, this is 2021. Teams are rotating.
But the thing is, I don't really think you can use him as an example, though.
No, I'm just saying, like, he's an elite running back, and even he's not, getting 80-90% of the workload that, like, Derrick Henry or what Najee Harris right now is playing, like 95% of snaps for the Steelers.
Najee Harris is killing it too, by the way.
Well, their offensive line is shit. So shout out to Taylor.
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, the fact that he's still balling out like that,
Yeah, see, I was also trying to tell my fiance that he's doing really, really well. It's just the Steelers aren't doing that well offensively. So it's like, don't give up on him, because, he's pretty darn good.
Is she's a Steeler fan?
No, I was drafted him in fantasy.
Oh.
She knows him as N. Harris.
Is she playing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is she winning?
We have a couples league that we put together, and she's beating me 3-0, Gene.
Bro,
I'm
you
down
got to
0-3
fix
to
that.
her.
You got to
Yeah,
fix
well, I got cute, Gene. See, I tried to go after Kyle Pitts. I was like, I told myself I would never draft him. I drafted him because I was like, why the heck not? Got screwed. Injuries all
So
over.
so let me ask you this. And I know we're just into week 3. What do you think of Kyle Pitts? And do you see the potential that everybody else allegedly saw?
Okay, I think he is and I know I think people overdid the whole, he's the greatest tight end prospect
Because they talked
ever.
about him being once in a generation, being a once in a generational player.
I think that's a little bit too far, but I think he was good enough to be if you told me he was a wide receiver, I'd say he's a top 10 pick. I think he's that good, but they're not using him in that way. They're not so like we talked about McVay, playing to space, the Bucs playing to matchups. Kyle Pitts is like not even on the field, Gene. You drafted him 4th overall ahead of, you know, Jamar Chase, who's going off right now. You drafted him above. I mean, the quarterbacks aren't doing all too well, but you could have gotten your heir apparent to Matt Ryan to sit down and, learn.
That's kind of where my head is still there. Um, do you think this will be like a mark against the coaching staff and general manager if they look back on this move and they could have had a franchise quarterback?
Oh, for sure. And I mean, their head coach, Arthur Smith, I mean, he's been like an offensive assistant for like ever. Got his cup of tea as a coordinator and did amazing. But like, I mean, we heard about what's his face in Kansas City, the offensive coordinator. Who am I blanking?
Oh, Bieniemy.
Bieniemy, like, people don't want to hire him because of his lack of experience as a head coach. Well, we're seeing in Atlanta. I mean, this guy has never really been a head coach before in his life. He was an assistant forever, like an offensive assistant, offensive line, run game coordinator, then gets a coordinator job 1 year, 1 or 2 years, and then has Derrick Henry, and rest is history. And he gets a head coaching job. I mean, I think the GM identified the talent and knows what he wants, but that tells me they're not syncing up.
Yeah. So I don't know. So we do have a caller. Who do we have on with us today?
Mean Gene, the dance machine, the king of bacon. You know what I mean? What's up, brother?
What's going on, man? How you doing? What are you?
Hello?
Yeah, you there? Can you hear me? Hopefully
We got Adele in the chat. Hello.
Yeah, there we go. I think we lost him. So just kind of going back to this, not going to happen, but wouldn't it be like the Bucs recently to come home from New England with Gilmore?
They've already basically said, or at least different people have mentioned that this is the only move. There's no Gilmore. Gilmore also cost a crap ton of money, let
Yeah.
alone picks.
Yeah. So
Not gonna happen. And also, I think the Bucs really love their secondary. They're young guys. They're just hurt.
yeah. That's kind of where I'm at right there. I don't know what they're gonna do. As we'll see. We'll see what they do. So got some really good games coming up this week. And I wanted to look at some of these games because, man. So you've got Arizona. The game of the week for me is going to be Arizona versus LA.
Second game of the week. What? Sorry.
I mean, just because I want the Rams to lose. I don't care who they lose to. I just want them to lose. I just need them to lose. But anyway,
I don't think the Cardinals are gonna win, or I don't think the Cardinals are gonna win.
okay.
So
So
I'm not buying, and my fiance has Kyler Murray, but I'm not buying the Kyler Murray. I just can't.
yeah.
It's just gonna take one injury to slow him down or one hit, and he's 5'8". I mean,
I
like, come
keep
on.
hearing people talking about his size and whatever. But well, I guess we'll see. So you got Washington and Atlanta. Let's get these picks going. Let me see about getting some of these picks in here.
All right.
Hold on. What just happened? Hold on. I don't know what's going on with this phone. This phone's just acting all weird.
But yeah, to me, Bucs Patriots is still the game of the week, even if
Bucs Patriots. Is it more because of the Brady versus Belichick thing?
it has to be. I mean, who would have thought 5 years ago we would have seen this.
Who would have thought 2 years ago we would have seen this? 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Hey, do we got you back?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you now. That sounds like a commercial. How you doing?
Good, guys. Good, guys. Wanted to check in and say what a great job you guys are doing here tonight. And give a couple shout outs to the Deck Bar and Grill down at Isla del Sol, home of the what team? That's right, Buccaneers pregame and halftime watch party at the Deck. Now, KB, Sherman, Tank, Richard. I didn't get to hear his take. What does KB got to say about this?
I'm all in. I'm all in, baby. And I think it's more of a leadership. And I think, to me, the Bucs, like I mentioned earlier in the podcast, play 75 to 80% of zone, especially during the regular season. We're not playing like the Saints or the Rams or the Chiefs. I think with the Bills later in this year as well, I think they're going to play a little bit more man that game. I think Richard Sherman is just going to get us through the year, make Jamel Dean earn his reps on the outside, and when SMB comes back, he slides right into the slot. I think it's a great signing, great price. I mean, 1.25 base, 2.5 take home. That's easy money.
Yeah, I was shocked at the price, to be honest with you. I thought it'd be a little higher.
I thought he was going to get the 4 or 5 that we cleared up with Marpet.
Oh, exactly. That's what I thought. I figured with Sherman, might be having some off-field legal monetary issues, and then the fact that the Buccaneers are so desperate, I thought Sherman had the negotiating leverage here, being his own agent and all that, he would come in a little higher. But hey, again, the Buccaneers front office and the number crunchers doing their thing as usual, man. This is I think Gene just said a little while ago, a little while back, we were going to have Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, Leonard Fournette, Richard Sherman. I mean, JPP. Who would have thought that?
Antonio Brown.
No, my bad. Forgot about AB. It's a new day. It's not even a great day. It's definitely a new day in the Tampa Bay area for the Buccaneers football.
Hey, you ain't wrong about that, man. And it's just going to continue to get better. So, again, I hope that people are just enjoying this right now. The Bucs are defending world champions. I can't say that enough. I can't stress that enough. And I am looking forward to every game and just how every game is going to turn out. So to me, like this week coming up, this is going to be a really good game between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New England Patriots.
Oh, absolutely. Did anybody catch the fact that the major coincidence that this week so far, Jamel Dean's been hurt and, not really doing much? Richard Sherman flies to Tampa last night, signs this morning, and there's Jamel Dean out on the practice field doing some practice.
You got to hold on to that spot if you're him.
That's it, man. I mean, if nothing else, like you said, he puts pressure on the other guys to perform better to keep their spots. And, of course he's going to say, meaning Sherman, everything right in the press conferences and all that stuff. But let's be honest. Does anybody have any fear that any shenanigans Sherman may or may not perceive to have are going to fly in this Bucs locker room? I mean, the locker room, even through the pandemic, has been basically not a peep. Whereas, being Bucs fans before, we hear all kinds of whining and bitching and moaning from the players.
Remember the pool tables and the ping pong tables. Remember everyone freaking out about them? I remember.
I'm gonna say this: Sherman has never been an issue in the locker room. He just hasn't. He's been consummate professional.
Nope.
And I mean, you go all the way back to the Seattle Seahawks up until now. He's just been a consummate professional. The guy's a freaking genius. I mean, just when you talk about his IQ, where did he go to Stanford?
Stanford from Compton. Went to Stanford, man.
Dude, not only did he graduated near the top of his class at Stanford, so just so that's the thing. People, football guys like me, who are really fat and sit on their couch with Cheeto crusted fingers, looking at a player playing in the NFL, making a bad play and saying he's suck or he's trash or he's stupid. Dude, most of these guys are way further educated than us. They're definitely better athletes, better athletic specimens. And here's a fun fact for everybody out there watching. They also know more about the game than you guys do.
Yeah, they watch
So-
more. They watch more film than I'll ever watch.
Right. So be like me and just sit on the couch, be fat, eat food, and enjoy it, like Gene said.
Hey, I'm just along for the ride, my friend.
Everything Bucs fans used to press their face against the window to look into the shiny store to see what a dominant franchise was like. We've done this for decades. Now we're that franchise. We're the franchise that leads off NFL Network's coverage, wraps up NFL coverage, always going live, always at the top of the headline. Enjoy it, Bucs fans, because it's not going to be 10, 20 years. It's going to be a 5, 6, 7-year window tops, and then they're going to have to make some adjustments. But for now, relax and enjoy it.
Yep.
You just signed a 5-time Pro Bowler to basically be the backup in your secondary. Let that sink in.
Yeah. So, I think, like you guys have both said, I think it's going to be great for the locker room. And, it's the first veteran presence we've had in a long, long time. So I'm there for it. I'm all in, like I said, I'm here for the ride. I'm enjoying this. I'm not your, I'm not your $3 coach or your $3 GM. I'm the guy that's going to sit here and, hey, this is what they're doing. Okay, cool. Let's see what he can do. Again, you won't see any concern out of me till later on in the season if we're still having this problem, but I personally do not see that being an issue.
And then with Sherman, I really like that he actually has the gravitas to, say to the coaching staff when he disagrees with something that's going on. And we know Brady, has that ability because we got some really good, especially in that secondary room. Like, I mean, Kevin Ross is the DB coach. I mean, he played in this league for a good while. And I'm sure the players might respect him, but they don't really know of him. They're going to look up to Sherman to kind of be like their voice and maybe help them get their own because we know Sherman is very outspoken and can help them, a lot, like take their games to the next level in that film room as well. Because we know from different guys who, worked with Rondé. I mean, it was all about what he did in the film room. I mean, taking the notes, staying the extra hours, being the first one in, like that kind of mentality. We know last year, Bulls came out and said when Dean and SMB, in 2019, when Dean and SMB were first starting to play, they were in with Bulls at like 6 a.m. each morning. Well, now with Sherman, someone's coming after their job who's already going to be there before they even wake up.
And that's the other thing too, is they took it to heart and they actually used the things that they learned on film. So again, I'm not too worried about this. We're just week 3, and I think the Bucs are going to bounce back just fine, and they're going to win some games and get everybody back on the bandwagon. That's what I'm thinking.
Absolutely. I'm excited and a little bit still in shock. Like I said, we saw the Buccaneers defense get depleted over the first 3 games with Murphy Bunting and then last week Jamel Dean going down, to where we saw lifetime practice squatters running around covering people. Well, okay, trying to cover people. And a normal Bucs franchise or team from back in the day, they'd be like, yeah, well, that's the hand we're dealt. We're going to have to deal with it. No,
those are the starters. Those aren't the backup after injury. Those are the starters.
Right, exactly. And now they're just like, oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say the real blessing here is some of these players are getting reps. You may have to call on them later on in the season. And, again, like I said, it's early in the season. I'd rather see them getting reps now and, where they're kind of needed to, rather than at the end of the year when you're like having to depend on them. So I think this will help the team overall. There's always that, you don't want to see injuries, but there's always that silver lining that these guys are getting reps and they're getting adjusted to real-time gameplay. So it always helps out in that factor as well.
Oh, most definitely. And just to recap before I jump off here, Jamel Dean, as I said, did practice today, albeit limited. Scotty Miller has been put on the 3-week, I believe it is, IR. So that's probably the roster move that's going to help make room for Richard Sherman, for lack of a better expression, because Antonio Brown is reported to be coming back tomorrow, like Bruce Arians says. His 10 days are up. He's coming back either way.
Yep.
So, you guys, the Buccaneers still might be without JPP this week. It's not looking good for him. But I don't see Rob Gronkowski missing this game for anything. And otherwise, the Buccaneers are going to be pretty solid. Now, I don't think we can expect Sherman to go out there and play significant, but I could see him getting in some situations.
Yeah.
He said that both BA and him, I believe, said that the plan is for him to not play this week. He might suit up. But unless injuries or situations like you're saying occur, I would just wouldn't expect much from him this week, personally.
Yeah, either way.
At least we are.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Gene. I was going to say, at least we don't have to worry about Deshaun Jackson running free this week.
Hey, you have to worry about Nelson Aguilar. My boy.
Yeah, from where
Berkeley
Prep. I had to ask that question to put that out there.
I hope Nelson goes for 300 yards on Sunday.
Bro, why didn't you get us some tickets? That's your guy.
Okay, those tickets retail for like, I don't know, $5,000.
He's supposed to hook you up. Okay, maybe not.
There's close friends, and then there's asking a lot, Gene.
He got put in the acquaintance column for that one.
And I understand, man. I understand. That's a family game.
All right.
Absolutely. Well, hey, Dean, I wanted to say thanks for the Vine, man, giving me some time to jump on your show. Great job, as usual.
Yeah.
KB, always a pleasure. And, guys, keep crushing it. Everybody down there, hit that like button, hit the share button. If you're on YouTube, hit subscribe and like. Come on, man.
There you go.
Silly.
And like Bucs Report for everything that they do, everyone.
Yep. And, you guys do what you do. Thank you so much for what you do. You greatly appreciate
it. Hey, man, you're the man, and bacon is king.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that. All right, man. So, real quick, got Rams. My friend Darius Wesley is a Rams fan. He said that Deshaun Jackson was going to have a big game, and I was like, yeah. But I wouldn't count on him for the whole season. But it was a good game, and I do want to give props to the Rams because the Rams not had their stadium ready. Had they had their stadium ready last year, the Buccaneers would have been playing at Rams Stadium winning a Super Bowl as opposed to playing in Tampa winning a Super Bowl. So thank you, Rams, for your tardiness.
And not only that, thank you for, again, showing us that we're human and allowing us to expose the need to get secondary help.
You know what? I'm all good.
The Panthers probably wouldn't have done that. The Texans or whoever the heck we have coming, or excuse me, we play the Jets late in the year. We have the Dolphins. The Dolphins aren't going to expose the secondary, so yeah. I'm perfectly fine.
Again, it was a game. It was a measuring stick to see where the Bucs are, and it's good to know that, and you kind of build off of that, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. To see what the Bucs do after this. So again, great game. So let's get down to the picks. Got to get down to the picks.
Week 4, baby.
Week 4 picks. First game. Washington versus Atlanta. Who you got? I got Washington.
Gene, this is like asking me to pick like a 2 versus a 2.5. I'm going to take Washington.
I like it. All right. Houston versus Buffalo. I'm taking Buffalo.
Yeah. Come on, Gene.
You can have
Come on, Gene. Of course I'm going to pick the Bills.
I'm going to give you Houston.
Hey, if Houston had Tyrod, I actually would say they'd cover, but I don't think they're going to cover. But yeah.
All right. Detroit versus Chicago. I got Detroit.
I'm going to go Detroit just because I think they deserve a little bounce back from the heartbreak from Justin Tucker.
All right. So you got Detroit too, huh?
Yeah. I think that's going to be a low-key good game.
That is. It's a division. This is division, sort of like a division week sort of thing going on here. Carolina versus Dallas. I got I'm actually going to take Dallas if McCaffrey doesn't play.
McCaffrey's week to week. I don't think he's going to play. I think Dallas, the way Dallas ran against the Eagles gives me faith that they're not what they were week 1 against the Bucs offensively. I think defensively, Micah Parsons, I mean, shout out to that guy, man. He's actually been a really good player for them. And
incredible. Who saw that coming?
I mean, the fact that he went from like linebacker to edge rusher, remarkable as a rookie. I mean,
So
remarkable stuff.
are you taking Dallas too?
Yeah.
Every time I pick Dallas, they lose. Just FYI,
So
which
you
is
picked
good.
them week 1?
No, I didn't.
I'm teasing. We
We're
don't
not
pick Bucs games. I know. I know.
exactly.
I know. I know. I know.
All right, Indianapolis and Miami.
Oh, it's at Miami.
I'm taking
Ooh,
Miami.
I'm picking. I believe in Jacoby Brissett over Jacob Eason,
Yeah, I'm taking Miami.
or no ankle Carson Wentz. How do you sprain both ankles, man?
It's like getting fired on your day off.
We should
But
call him
anyway.
Lieutenant Dan from Forrest Gump. Can I please trademark that for once?
All right, Cleveland versus Minnesota.
Where's it at? Oh, it's at the Vikings.
At the Vikings. I'm taking
Ooh,
Cleveland.
You know, give me the Vikings. Kirk Cousins done really well. Why not?
Not my cousins. Okay, yeah, you can have him.
You know, he's playing well though, Gene. I mean, Justin
he is.
Jefferson, Thielen's like doing really well this year, like low key. He's like the second, third best. Like he's like Cooper Kupp, the small little white boy who's putting up obscene amount of yards and TDs.
Yeah, there you go, man. That's your fantasy cheat code right there. All right, Jameis Winston and the New Orleans Saints versus the Giants.
Where is this game going to be played though, Gene?
This is going to be played in Nolan's, allegedly.
Wait, what? I thought they were not going to be able to play for a little bit.
I'm almost positive this is in New Orleans.
If it's New Orleans, it's an easy dub.
Yeah, it is.
I'll give them the easy dub.
They haven't played. Have they played in the Dome since they lost? Yeah, I guess they have. Yeah, I guess
they played preseason.
Yeah, preseason. Okay, yeah. All right, so I'm taking New Orleans.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm going to win all these. And you got New Orleans.
We basically picked the same one except for Cleveland. The Cleveland Vikings game.
All right. Kansas City, Philadelphia.
Kansas City goes to 1-3. That's kind
They're
of.
not going to 1.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like if they were to lose this game, it's at Philly. I mean, that's a pretty tough place to play. I mean, give me the Chiefs, but man, if they lose this game, we're looking at maybe I wouldn't say quite a wild card team, but like that's not good, man.
No, I don't see Philadelphia beating Kansas City.
No, neither do I, but I'm saying if they did, if that 1% happened, Gene. Because that defense isn't good, and Jalen Hurts got exposed by the Cowboys, but I mean, it's at Philly. That changes things.
So is Tyreek Hill hurt or something? What's wrong with that guy?
No, they signed Josh Gordon. No, it's Patrick Mahomes. He's actually throwing interceptions because they aren't being dropped Jameis level. Last year, man, Mahomes was one of the leaders in interceptions dropped.
Well,
it's just happening this year.
Well, they're figuring it out this year, so I guess. All right, so
Chiefs.
So you got the Chiefs too. I'm gonna go ahead and mark you down for Kansas City.
See, that's why like spreads make this more interesting. But if we're going straight up, like I can't.
Yeah, we're gonna go straight up. I'm not a spread guy because I'm not as professional as gambling as you guys are.
I've never gambled on a game, baby.
Yeah, okay. All right. So Arizona, Los Angeles, and you said you got Los Angeles, so you're taking LA.
Yeah, I just don't believe in Kyler. Are you picking Arizona?
I'm taking Arizona in an upset special. I think Chandler Jones is a freaking monster.
Yeah, but our favorite boy, the hardest worker in the NFL, JJ Watt's hurt. That frees up some blockers. Just saying.
Yeah, this is true. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with Arizona.
Okay.
Just because. All right, Frisco, Seattle.
Who's Seattle playing? Who's Frisco? What?
San Francisco.
Oh, where's it being played at?
I think it's in San Francisco, I believe.
Oh, yes, it is in San Fran. Oof, that's actually a low key. I mean, Seattle loses; they're dropping to 1-3 in that division.
They're in the same boat as Kansas City.
They can't lose that game.
They will lose that game because
I think they're going to lose it too, but they can't lose it.
Well, we're just going to tell you, like, sorry, San Francisco, you guys are losing this game. And the reason I say that, something's wrong with Pete Carroll. Something is wrong with Pete Carroll, and I don't know
Well,
what
it's
it is.
also I would say it's more so even the front office. They haven't used a first round pick in God knows forever. They just traded 2 of them for Jamal Adams to basically be their best edge rusher, and then paid him to be the top safety in the NFL, which they were already struggling with the cap. They were
That's
already had their left tackle like wanting a buyout or
that's kind
restructuring.
of the Derwin James mentality that you get a safety to be your best. Yeah, no.
Yeah, but
No.
Derwin's like low key, like one of the best cover corners in the NFL. He
He
just
oh
happens to
yeah.
play safety.
No, high key he is when he can stay healthy. But
If
my thing is when you don't have a defensive line in front of you, what good is he? But anyway, I know
See,
I'll probably catch some
well,
grief for that.
no,
But
the Chargers got, Joey Bosa, who
yeah,
I think just
but
got hurt, but
they were already stacked when he came in
oh
defensive.
yeah. He's got
They were,
Nasir Adderley at safety. They've had some corners that have been good cycle in through there. I
yep,
mean,
they've always had high end, secondary there. So all right, so
we
you
both
got
got
San Francisco.
49ers.
All right, here we go. Baltimore, Denver. I'm taking the Donkeys to win this one in an upset special.
God, this is a really bad matchup for Baltimore.
That
Oh
Denver's defense doesn't come alive too, buddy. I'm
no,
taking
they're
the Don-
good.
I
I'm
That's what I'm
I'm
saying.
I'm gonna take the Dolphins. I think this is borderline upset special, but I'll take the Broncos.
Baltimore or Denver.
Denver.
All right, so you got the
Because I mean,
Donkeys.
Baltimore has the worst record, but Denver's also like the Panthers haven't really played anyone yet.
Yeah. So we both got the Donkeys in Pittsburgh and Green Bay. Man bun versus bathroom Ben. I'm
I'm not taking bathroom Ben.
So you got
A-Rod,
Pittsburgh.
A-Rod showed me he's good, so I'll take the Packers comfortably.
Yeah, I'm taking the Packers too. I just don't think that the Pittsburgh Steelers got it in them, and I'm taking the Packers. All right. And last game, Las Vegas versus the Chargers.
Damn, this is actually a really good Monday night game. No Manning cast for this one, which disappoints me.
I'm taking the Chargers. I love their QB.
I love
I'm
Herbert
feeling this guy.
too.
I'm feeling this guy. Joshua Cole Allen, what's going on, man?
God, this is a really tough one. Oh man.
Okay, let me put this down here. So I'm taking the Chargers. How can you not take the Chargers?
Because I'm actually buying the Raiders.
Bro, are you serious?
Okay, what team in the past 2-3 years has actually stopped Patrick Mahomes every single time they've played? It's the Raiders. Well, and actually not the Bucs. The Bucs got destroyed that first time, the first quarter at least. The Raiders do well, man, against these quarterbacks. I don't get it because they have no talent, Gene.
I've got, and listen to this. You're gonna laugh at this. I've got Derwin James with a pick 6.
I got Derwin James leaving the game in the first quarter. He got injured last game.
That doesn't matter. They're playing the Raiders. Derwin James, pick 6. Chargers win.
Give me them Raiders.
Okay, you got the Raiders.
That'll be fun. Wait, we didn't pick one. We didn't pick the
we did.
Jets
We
and
did
Titans.
Did we miss the Jets and Titans?
Trying to think if we missed any other game.
We didn't miss
I think
any
it's
other.
just Jets Titans and Jaguars Bengals tomorrow night. Come on.
Oh, my bad. Let me hold on. Let me get these back in here. So you got the Raiders.
I do. And then we got Titans, Jets, and I think we're both going to take the Titans.
Yeah.
Are you going to take the Bengals as well over the Jaguars?
Hold on one second.
Okay.
Tennessee versus the Jets?
Yeah. At New York.
I remember why I didn't pick that game. I didn't put it down. I don't even know why they're even playing.
Hey, I mean, rookie quarterbacks, you never know what's going to happen.
All right. So, and you've got the Jets.
No, I got the Titans.
I just messed up. All right. And I got Tennessee.
And then we got Jaguars, Bengals. Okay. I got to take the Bengals. I don't see Urban Meyer, man. I think he's going to quit the season.
You think so?
At the end of the year, I think
I have Urban Meyer tapping out in 2 seasons. I think he hobbles through this season, and then their draft stock next year is trash.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know how. Never mind.
But they get Travis Etienne back, Gene. Maybe that'll solve all their problems. Don't get me started on first round running backs, Gene.
I love to hear you do that, man, because you do so well. I mean, okay, so we were talking about first round, and we're going around the NFL a little bit here. What are your thoughts on Saquon Barkley so far this year? Another first round running back. How has he looked?
I mean, like he's
Or do they have him on the
a
snap
freak
count or
athlete.
something?
You take away the freak athlete. I mean, they're good players, but he's just not the superstar that you take it 3 overall over Quentin Nelson, even Bradley Chubb.
So is he that guy that? I mean, do you think the injuries have taken their toll on him? Kind
Yeah,
of like,
but when you draft a running back first round, how do you not expect him to get injured at some point in the 5 years?
yeah, because you ran him into the ground.
You
like
have
you
to
did.
if you draft him in the first round. You have no choice.
Mm, nah,
You're
I
going to
don't.
draft a running back in the first round to be a committee running back?
I don't know. I think
Okay, who would you rather have, Saquon or Joe Tryon?
I would take Joe Tryon.
Okay, who would you rather have, Saquon or Antoine Winfield Jr.?
I would take Antoine. I just would, because running backs are, you can get running backs in the later rounds.
Antoine, you got in the second round. Tryon,
Yeah.
you got at 32. I don't want to hear you can take a running back at 32. Gene, you can find a running back anywhere. What's Kenneth Gainwell is probably the best rookie running back this year, not named Najee Harris. Got picked in like the 4th round, Gene.
You have him on your fantasy?
Well, he's getting picked up by everyone now. He's been buried on some of my rosters, but that's just because, I drafted running back early.
These things.
But that's what I'm telling you. You could have gotten these guys way later. Why put all your eggs into a running back basket? That's my feelings.
Yep. And I would rather have scrambled eggs if we're talking about any of that.
Who would you rather have, Saquon or Devin White?
Devin White.
Who would you rather have, Saquon or Vita Vea?
You can keep dropping all these names. You're right. You've already made your point. You made your point a long time ago.
Who would you rather have, Saquon or trade a 3rd or trade a 5th for Marlon Mack?
I'd take Marlon. Exactly. I'd take Marlon Mack.
A 5th round pick. That's what I'm saying. You can find running backs anywhere, anytime, whenever you like. Lenny Fournette was on the streets last year, Gene. He was Lombardi Lenny.
And doesn't that go back to talent evaluation to some extent? Or are you, well, let me ask you this. Is it, when you look at running backs, are you rolling the dice on them when you're picking a running back? Are you rolling the dice on them? I mean, McMuffin's finally coming into his own right now.
Yeah, but he has a role, Gene, and also took him 3-4 years to get that role. Because that's what happens when you sit and learn, and when you're not having all those expectations as a rookie. He came in, he was the only draft pick that year, Gene, who wasn't a starter on their team and contributed. And that's including undrafted free agent Philip Lindsay and one other person that slipped my mind. But that's the Aaron Jones draft. Alvin Kamara, that draft was just nuts, and we missed on all of them.
Yeah, T. Smitty said, ironically, the Giants took Saquon over Quentin Nelson and Bradley Chubb.
Derwin James, Vita Vea, that's that draft.
Yeah. You don't pick a back at number 2 if you're in a new rebuild. Yeah, you got to get them trenches. You got to hook them trenches up a little bit.
Trenches, skill players, and those who can rush the passer. So you either throw the ball, you catch the ball, you sack the guy, or you cover the best guy. That's who you draft.
Now, if you had, looking at this draft, there's a lot of do-overs right now, based on what we're seeing. This is week 3. I digress. I'm not even going to get into that because this will be saved for after the season when you have a full year's body of work to see.
Also, we'll have our 2031 mock draft ready by season's end.
We should be ready for 2031. Look for our 2031 mock draft, and we're just that far ahead of everybody else. All right, so we did decide Jags Bengals. You've got the Bengals. I've got the Bengals. Joe Burrow is something special. I love his play too. I think he's going to be a very solid quarterback for years to come as well.
I agree. And then the touch on that first round thing from this past year. We know how we've talked about all this with Tristan Wirfs and how we said all last year and this offseason how to not switch someone so quickly. What about Panay Sewell? He
Ooh,
looked great, Gene. He's
I
looked great
wasn't.
on the left side.
Yeah,
Taylor Decker might not have he might be left guard when he comes back.
but wasn't it always kind of whispered that he could be that once in a generation offensive lineman too?
Left tackle, Gene, because he
Yeah.
played left tackle every year since he was like in high school. He's never seen the right side. And they put him out there during the preseason. He was biting kneecaps though.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, just a little bit. Little Pac-Man there. But you
And
know.
then Rashawn Slater, we're talking
Yeah.
about done great. Great. But then we talk about these quarterbacks. Meh. I mean, Jamar Chase has come out. J.C. Horn sadly got hurt. I thought he was a really good pick for Carolina.
Man, he was somebody that was definitely going to be a problem for offensive coordinators as well. I like his play. I think he's got a really good future if he could stay healthy in the NFL.
I think him and C.J. Henderson, when Horn's healthy next year, that's a pretty good duo.
Yeah, it is.
That to me is like a Carlton Dean type situation.
And the thing is, it's organic, man. It's homegrown. It's not like they've gone out to buy this guy. They've drafted him, brought him in, put him in Matt Rule's system, and they're rolling.
Well, Henderson they just traded for from the Jags.
Yeah, I mean, but not so much
Yeah.
Henderson, but Horn is that guy, you know, and I love that.
But Devontae Smith, I mean, he doesn't have a quarterback. To me, he's looked pretty decent when he's out there. Micah Parsons, change that linebacker to edge. I think that's a great pick. Elijah Vera Tucker. Well, remember when people were saying last year that what's his face, the left tackle for the Jets, big boy from Louisville,
What is his name?
Mekhi Becton.
Mekhi Becton.
Like Mekhi Becton was better than Tristan Wirfs. No.
Oh yeah.
No.
That was all through the season until the end of the season, and then all that got quiet real quick.
Zaven Collins, the Cardinals need to stop drafting linebackers. You did nothing with Simmons. Now you're doing nothing with Collins.
Yeah.
But the Raiders with Alex Leatherwood. Sorry, that made me laugh.
I really think that Kingsbury is on the hot seat.
Oh, he's got to be. But he's 3-0 though, Gene.
Yeah.
But if he ends the season 500 again, doesn't make the play. Because remember, I think at least 3 of the NFC West is making the playoffs.
Yeah. And honestly, dude, I'm serious when I say this. I mean, right now, you're weeding out the contenders from the pretenders. Or vice versa, however you want to look at it. So yeah. So this is gonna be a fun season. I've enjoyed it so far. I enjoyed the Rams game, despite the loss. It was a good game. It was fun watching Tom Brady and just thinking in the back of your head, man, he could actually win this game. And just for whatever reason, regardless of what the score was, in the back of my head, I'm like, he could actually win this game. That sounds delusional.
Hey,
but
if our worst game is Brady tossing for 430, granted, this is the first game we haven't scored 30 points in 11 games.
Yeah.
That's fine. Just
Yeah.
don't do it in the playoffs, but that's fine to do now.
Yep. Let's get it all out of our system, man, and enjoy it.
But Gene, I think the Bucs season is every game is just going to be a race to 30. Who gets their first wins?
Yeah. But again, I think if they can fix this pass rush, I don't think it's the weapons. I think they just need to find a way to get to the quarterback. And I think there are going to be some games where they do. And I think that the defense is going to bail out the offense at some points during the season.
You want to lead me on my final point on this. Pretty much. Wait, why did I just mentally blank? What were you saying, Gene? I just blanked.
Oh, we were talking about no, I just blanked. Somebody put a magnet up to my head and erased what I was saying. Race to 30. You were talking about race to 30.
Race to 30. Gene. Oh, so the pass rush. That's where I was going with this. So everyone's complaining about the pass rush, right? Quarterbacks are getting the ball out of their hands in 1.52 seconds. You can't sack a guy that quickly unless you're Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
Vita Vea is pushing two guys back like this. That takes 2 seconds, y'all. And the quarterback has the ball already out. I think the secondary,
guys. Yeah.
You need synchronicity between those two groups, the pass rush and the coverage. Hopefully this puts a Band-Aid on the covers and changes a little bit schematically, because I think we're going to have to play a little bit more cover 3 with Sherman as opposed to playing quarters and really allowing those dump off passes, the Kamara passes, I like to call them, those little swings, those screens that the Rams love to do.
Yeah.
You can take those away when you play like bump and run cover 3.
Yeah. I believe that because you're taking them off their trajectory. So
And
yeah,
that's the thing. Sherman will put hands on receivers. Carlton will put hands on receivers. He's got them in trouble for a long time. Dean's not a put a hand on receivers kind of guy. Don't you think that opens up, passing lanes when you don't even impede a receiver's route?
absolutely. Because you're running your route with hey, I'm gonna just go in and get there with nobody stopping me. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you don't think Cooper Cup, if you don't touch him, he's gonna get open?
I missed the more physical bump and run. I think that really made the game a lot more fun. I lowered the scores,
Well,
but
see, that's what I didn't like about Lovey was like, for instance, Monty. He played like a bump and run up in your face cover 2.
right.
Lovey was a let's play 10 yards off cover 2. There's different. You can
And
play zone and still be aggressive.
when you're playing 10 yards off, is that to stop the big play or what is the purpose of that scheme?
There is no purpose, which is why if they don't have Tyrod or Deshaun playing quarterback, the Texans are screwed.
Yeah, basically. Well, my friend, this has been fun. I've enjoyed myself. I enjoyed everybody in the chat. T Smitty, get at me, man. You got my number. And we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Oh, I have a new logo coming out. New logo.
Oh, he teased it to me earlier, everyone.
The
It's
logo.
nice.
The logo's nice. Very nice. BucWhatYaHeard, new logo. Look for it. And hopefully, that would be kind of dope if Smack Apparel did those shirts. Would you have one of those shirts? Would
Of
you have
course.
with the new logo? Would you rock one of those shirts?
Why not? Don't they create images based on whatever you like?
Yep, that's what they're gonna do. Just for yours truly. Ours truly. And I appreciate that. But anyway, enough about that, guys. Scheme over talent. Scheme over talent. I like it. I like it. I like it. Well, anyway, we're out of here. And we will see you next week on Wednesday with myself and KB.
Actually, I won't be here next week.
Oh, that's
Sorry
right.
to say. I'll be down in Tampa, everyone.
Oh, you'll be in Tampa. So what you need to do, I'm going to tell you right now, you and the wife, you guys need to go to the Cannon Fire Grill, the Cannon Fire Brewery.
Text me.
I will text you. I'll get you in touch with Matt.
Keith, all y'all tell me where I need to go.
I'm going to get you in touch with Matt. Very romantic place for you and the missus to kind of hang out. The menu is incredible. I had these chimichurri French fries that are just.
Oh, you did. You were talking about these. You and
they
Plus.
were incredible. But anyway, enough about that, man.
I'll be back in 2 weeks.
I like how you did that. Let's see what you did there.
But Gene will have someone, I'm sure, probably Plus or someone good to come in.
I forgot about Plus, man. Plus will be here pretty soon, so yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Maybe I'll meet up with Plus.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I will arrange that.
I'll be behind Plus as he's on with you and surprise everyone. No, I'm just kidding. I'll be driving that day, but it'll be fun.
All right, man. Well, you have a good one, and please be safe. I'm jealous that you're going to be in Tampa, but anyway, my time will come. See you later. Peace.